I'm not buying it. Objection, Your Honor. You see that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River? However, that's hard to believe. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. I asked the court to recall the condition of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. Most certain death. Understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind was impossible. Objection, Your Honor. It's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. Small change in the water wouldn't have made a difference. What do you mean? I don't buy it. No. I'm not buying it. Objection, Your Honor. Unfortunately for you, that is just the start of the assault. I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwillingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. That's impossible, Mr. Edgeworth. How could he have picked her up if he was already shot in the arm? He would need both hands to do so. Objection, Your Honor. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had a gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. Ridiculous remark? I think not. Objection, Your Honor. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. Bingo. I got you now. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. Yes, Dahlia had a plan all from the beginning. The $2 million, she was gonna keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Sure about that, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, yes, I do. I do believe a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan, Mr. Edgeworth. Because that's exactly what she did! There was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her own older sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Exactly. Yep, precisely. I'm sure it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister, Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do. Exactly, Mr. Edgeworth. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill two birds with one stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your own sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh. Of course. I don't know. How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Nope. Mr. Armando. Exactly. On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Fall's stolen car and then went to meet with him, disguised as her sister, Valerie. That's what you think. In that case, it's only one answer. There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who could testify that the demon woman's crimes? Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. Yes, I would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. There's only one person who can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that could say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Defendant, you've heard everything that has been said up to this point, yes? Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Tell the truth, the real truth, now! Huh? I don't buy it. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she'd do the same for you? You're not getting me with this one, Mr. Edgeworth. According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. You certainly arrived early, didn't you? You waited on the bridge for 30 minutes? Mr. Falls. Why didn't he just climb up? Maybe he's hiding something here? watching the car. I suppose that's the obvious thing to do, but something's bothering me. I'm getting that feeling. Contradiction? No one lives there. Small shrine on the other, up on the mountain. That's it. Mr. Falls, think carefully now. Are you certain that it was Valerie Hawthorne? Wait a minute. If you would remember her face, why did you make her wear a scarf as identification? What did you talk to her about anyway? Mr. Falls. You just saw that she isn't dead. How can you be so sure? It was raining at the time, and sunset that day was at 5 o'clock. It would have already been pretty dark on that mountain at 4:30. Please, Mr. Falls, this is your last chance. You've already taken the fall once for something you didn't do. Mr. Falls. That's true, Mr. Armando. Objection, Your Honor. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying! You wanna know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, he must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls? He still gets so worked up. We just want the truth. A memento. What? No. No. That's Dahlia's necklace. My client said, Your Honor. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. Then he left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Huh? What? No. No! Oh my God. No. Oh my God. So my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. Ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul, I thought it would never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. One person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne. She left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. completely unforgivable. It's my fault Mr. Falls killed himself. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. And you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over, at least that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that made me remember all of this. Everyone, we are finally up to the final case. I'm going to be starting on the final case starting tomorrow night. This is the final case of the entire Phoenix Wright trilogy. Bridge to the Turnabout. Every mystery, every unanswered question will be solved and answered when we start on this case. Until tomorrow night, I bid you all sayonara.